What is up, YouTube? Four Leaf Cards here. Thanks for clicking. We're coming to the end. We got piles of stuff here, wrapping up the National. What a trip. What a trip. We got some big boy cards out there out front. We got the 4-leaf $5 finder's fee. That is probably my favorite part, I guess. My favorite part was hanging out with everybody and collecting to connect, but that was just hanging out and connecting straight up. That was my favorite part, just catching up with all the people. But man, that $5 4-leaf $5 finder's fee, what a great time that is. So thanks to all those guys that participated there. Hopefully you're enjoying the series here. We got a couple little odds and ends. I think a couple of these are going to get mailed in. Little Leaf and I still need to open the kids crate, so there'll be some other videos, but this is going to be the last one. And I've got a biggie. Now, you guys might not get too excited about it, but I've got a BlueJackett66 Rare item. That's what we're talking about. Legitimately rare. I think this was actually my first purchase of the National. B. Roth. I had lined this up. This one was kind of a done deal before I got there. That Jackie. Oh, there's the other Jackie just while we're looking. Beautiful card. But anyway, this one was one I've been looking for this for years, and again, I don't want to build it up too much because you guys are gonna be like, what the heck is that? But anyway, I've been looking this. When I got back in, this is 5 years ago now. I traveled down to Pennsylvania quite a bit, and there's a chocolate company down there, and so I love the oddball cards, much like Dave BlueJacket's got a bunch of food issue. I love food issue. My man Rick, Vintage Oddball, always got some really nice food issue stuff and cool oddball stuff, and Mangini's got a lot of cool stuff. I love those channels. Those are channels where like Dave had one the other day where he's pulling stuff out of his safety deposit box, and I'm driving, and he had a nice little monologue. And then I'm driving, and he starts showing like Thai Cobbs, and it's just like I got to pull over because I can't drive, So I love just the beauty of the stuff, and the oddball stuff. It's just you can't see it everywhere, and it's just a lot of the stuff's out of my price range. I mean, I guess if I didn't buy any of the, you're seeing, hey, 4-leaf. If you didn't buy that and that and that and that, you probably could buy one nice one. But I get rolled up with the volume, right? I'm a child of the '80s, not vintage, the wax, junk wax. I'm a sucker for a $20 box of shit, cards. I don't know why. It's just how I was brought up. So I get caught up in volume, and I really did a good job this year, with Scott Reindeer Studios' help, of roping it in, and really instead of spending $300 or $400 in the singles box on stuff that I don't really need. I went for some quality this year, and I'm happy I did that. And I want to do more of that. But man, some of these guys got some big things, and so I love the rarity stuff. And again, people throw that rare word around, and Dave's right. It may be scarce, but rare. You got to be careful with your words. And anyway, so when I got back in, I like this oddball stuff, and there's a chocolate company down in Pennsylvania called Wilbur Chocolate, and they make, if you don't know this, there's a story here, and this is really cool because I knew I was going to buy this, and I'll get into that, but they make basically it looks like a Hershey Kiss. It's called a Wilbur Bud, and that Wilbur Bud predates the Hershey Kiss by 13 years, so Hershey stole the design of this, the Hershey Kiss from Wilbur Chocolate. I mean, when you hear these stories about espionage in the candy world, and back in the early 1900s, the first half of the 20th century, there was a lot of that going on. People were trying to steal recipes, and there was a lot of that. It's consolidated. You don't see too much of it going on now, but I mean, it was real. And so these Hershey stole this. You look at a little Wilbur Bud. It's like it looks like a Hershey Kiss, basically. And so I've fallen in love with Wilbur. When I first started working down there, some of the guys that I work with, they're like, you had a Wilbur Bud. We were at a conference like 20 minutes down the road. Have you ever had a Wilbur Bud? And I'm like, what the hell's a Wilbur Bud? And they're like, that's it. We're leaving the conference. We're going to go out lunchtime. We're going to go down there, and we got chocolate at this Wilbur Bud. And I was like, oh my God, these things taste way better than a Hershey Kiss. and they come in milk chocolate and dark chocolate. And so I fell in love with Wilbur Buds and Wilbur Chocolate. They have a little museum there now. They used to make a lot of chocolate there. They've since closed it down. They turned the place into an apartment building, and it's a shame really, because it's a history of our country. And they still have a little store front across the street, whatever. So I'm disappointed that they couldn't keep it going. Cargill bought it, big company, and then shut it down. It wasn't, making enough money. But anyway, so I'm in love with this Wilbur chocolate. And so when I got in, I'm looking at some of these, food issue things, tobacco cards, some of these you can get for, sets for pretty cheap. And so one of them was this Wilbur Suchard chocolate flag set. It's a flags of the world. And so I bought it. I thought that's really cool. It's $20 or $25 or something, $30 for the set of all the flags. And it was one of those deals where if you as a kid usually, if you figure out what all the flags are, you could write them and you'd get an album and you'd get the United States flag. So the only way to get the U.S. flag in the album was to write in and get it, collect them all and write in and get it. So I bought this set and I'm like, okay, I'll get the set. And then I'll go to the shows and I'll look around and I'll find an American flag. There's got to be, not many of them. There's got to be 50 or 100 of them out there. I mean, they're there. And going to shows, I'm not even seeing the flags. I'm not seeing anything. I went to the National last year, and there was a couple of flags that I found, but that was it. Not even a whole set, nothing. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? So I start looking like, okay, I'm gonna get online. Maybe the auction houses will have it. And from what I can tell, and again, I don't, I'm looking at old auction, the results from auctions, and the best I can do, Googling and whatever. And I've spent a lot of hours doing this, and the best I can tell, there's been 3 sets that have ever sold, complete with the U.S. flag. And I was and in my Googling, I found a place that had a full complete set. And I saw the pictures of it, and it wasn't matching up. Now, the 3 previous that have sold, one didn't have pictures. And then it was very clear the one set had a crease, the American flag. So it's all about the American flag. The crease, the American flag had a crease in the upper right-hand corner on one. And on the other picture that was available, there was the upper right-hand corner again was soft, but no crease. So the 2 pictures of the ones that I've ever seen, I've never even seen these in person, but the 2 that I've seen sold with pictures were 2 distinct flags, and I don't know about the 3rd one. So there was no picture, and that's the best I can find on this set. And so when I found this, it was a card shop in Arizona. And I immediately sent them a message, and I actually called. I forget it. I'm not even going to risk sending a message. I called the number, and I said, "Listen, I've been looking for this. I didn't let up too badly that I wanted, but I'm interested in this set. Are you going to the National?" And they said, "Yeah, we are." I said, "Well, can you bring that set for me?" And I don't think they were going to bring it, to be honest with you, because it's just so off the wall. It's non-sport. It's this flags of the world. And I said, "Can you bring it to the National? I want to take a look at it, and see." And so they brought it, and they packaged it up. They put my name on it. It's the R53 Wilbur Chocolate Flag Set with the U.S. flag. Now I didn't pay $350 for it, but that's, So you again, don't get too excited. Okay, it's not like a $10,000 card or thing. And so they brought it to me, and that was my first order of business. Actually, before I got rid of that box of Prism football, and before I caught B-Roth, this was the #1 thing on my list. And the guys were awesome. I took a look at it, and it looked good. And I wrote all this stuff down in my little green book. Here's the guys here, Scottsdale baseball cards. They were awesome. So if you're looking to deal with somebody, they were great, excellent people. And he pulled it out, and I looked at it. And the other thing too, one of them had a lot of staining on the album, but here's the album. Okay, it's got a little bit of kind of a rough edge here, but that is no big deal, no big deal. And so I open it up, and the first thing I want to see is that upper right hand corner, because one has got a crease and one's got a soft corner. And I look at this, and this one's got a little bit of an indentation from being in the book, but it has got a tight corner. So this is a confirmed third set. Now I can't tell if this was one that might have been sold without the picture. So I don't know. So it's either it's a confirmed third set, but it might be a fourth set if it's not the one that was sold without a picture. So that's where we're at with that. And so it's an album. So you got all the this one's got a little soft corner. But I looked at some of the flags. The flags are in pretty good shape. So whoever collected this was doing a good job taking care of them. And I'm telling you right now, Dave had his cobs out, and he said that's the last time you're going to see them probably. That's pretty much what's going to happen to this. I'm going through it with you guys now, and then I'm not going to touch it much because I want to keep it in good shape, and it's going to go in the dark. I don't want it to degrade or anything like that. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Some people said, why don't you pull out the American flag and grade it? There had been none graded. I can't find any in SGC or PSA. So I don't know if I'm going to grade it. I like the thought of keeping it all together. That Norway is a little beat up. But the other ones are in good shape. But I don't need a grade. I'm not a graded kind. It doesn't have to be graded. I know this is the real deal. And there you go. Presented by the Wilbur Suchard Chocolate Company, Philadelphia. Now they're also in Lidditz. Now where they're at now, they were in New Jersey, Philadelphia, and Lidditz, Pennsylvania. And then they closed New Jersey, Philadelphia, and they were only in Lidditz. And then they closed Lidditz, really. And now they're just kind of like a retail store. But they have a little. I haven't been to the retail store lately, but they have a little museum of chocolate items, from their company and from some other companies as well. One of the owners of the company, his wife, got really into collecting memorabilia of chocolate. So they have a nice little museum. I think they still have it in that little retail store. They have a little retail store with the museum. So, but I can't confirm that. But anyway, so Wilbur Suchard chocolate. And so what I did before I went to the National is I went down and I stopped and I picked up some Wilbur buds. And when this deal was all done, so they were able to give me a little bit better deal on it. And I shook his hand. I said, thank you so much. This is going in my forever PC. And I appreciate you working with me on it and bringing it out. And I slid him over a little box of Wilbur buds. And I told him the story about, Hershey stealing the design of Wilbur buds. And they got to enjoy a little box of those Wilbur buds throughout the show. So I just thought that was really neat. And I bought an extra box. So when we were out at the house in the evening, I said, okay, guys, I got my big pickup. And everybody's like, what is this? And I told the whole story. And I had a little box of chocolate of Wilbur buds for the house that night. And everybody devoured them. I think everybody agreed that the Wilbur buds are better than the Hershey Kisses. Let me know if that's not correct, guys. But just a wonderful story with a nice little chocolate treat that goes with it. And I'm just over the moon to have this super clean example of the American. As far as the pictures goes, I've got the best looking American flag. And I believe that's a 48 star flag. And then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's the 48 star flag because this is from the 1930s. So we hadn't added our last 2 stars. Just absolutely amazing. I think he wrote R53, but I think it's an R51. But anyway, it's not, you guys, I don't know how excited you are about it, but it's not a sports thing, but it's a food issue. And I am just, it's my little slice of rarity. Probably one of the rarest things that I own, if not the rarest thing that I own. And I'm just absolutely happy to have it in my collection. And so thank you so much for listening and hopefully sharing a little bit of my excitement about that American flag in this album and the story of Wilbur chocolate, Wilbur Suchard while this happened. And then it went back to Wilbur. And if you're ever in Pennsylvania near Lancaster County, Lidditz is just up the road. I suggest you pop in there and grab some Wilbur Buds. They are absolutely delicious and kick the butt out of Hershey Kisses. So Wilbur Buds are where it's at. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed all of the stuff that's happened that I got at the National. Coughing at the end here, but really appreciate your time and watching my videos. And if you guys are opening anything, best of luck to you. Don't forget to collect to connect, and have an awesome Wilbur chocolate kind of day.